So it takes me a half hour
Yeah.
to find out what streaming service the thing I'm trying to watch is on.
Oh yeah, you Google it. Where
Prime?
can I find
Is
this?
it on Netflix? Is it on Disney Plus? Is it
I
on
know.
Hulu? And so I'm flipping around, and by the time I find it, it's like it's too late. I gotta go to bed.
Gotta go to bed. I didn't have much time. Oh, hey.
Hey. Hi, welcome to another episode of Talking with Docs. I'm Dr. Paul Zalzo.
I'm Dr. Brad Rennie.
What do you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about an amazing series that I just recently watched. I know you watched, and there's a lot of water cooler kind of talk. It's not super new. It was like last year. Dopesick.
That's new to me.
Yeah, it was new to us.
Dopesick. What a good series. 8-part limited series.
Yes.
Talking about
The opioid addiction and Dopesick. Did you know what it meant before watching the show?
I know. I never heard.
That kind of feeling that you get waiting for that next craving.
Yeah, Ironically, I learned.
It was
stuff
like sad
watching
and compelling and interesting and all sorts of emotions, to be honest.
So you know what? We figured this is a medical show.
Yep.
We're physicians. I think we're in an okay place to comment on the validity or the what about this show? Should you watch it? Don't watch it? That kind of stuff.
14 nominations for Primetime Emmys, won 3, including for Michael Keaton, Best Actor.
Michael Keaton's awesome, okay, so you know it's going to be good. But from a medical point of view, is this a good show?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
I think all shows are a little bit Hollywoodized, which
Yeah.
is normal. You want to make the show interesting. But yeah, I think in general, it rung true for me for a lot of things, for sure.
I agree with Siskel. I think that this was a good medical show because it did capture a huge societal burden. Okay.
Right.
Now, of course, it is going to Hollywoodize it, and it's only going to show mostly one side of the argument.
Yep.
But basically, it's showing how Purdue, the big pharma company, marketed and distributed OxyContin, which is a slow-release version of oxycodone, which is a strong narcotic that is used for pain control.
Right, and the thought being that the slower release was somehow going to make it less addictive. And that was kind of the hallmark of their marketing.
Yeah, and actually that was their FDA approval.
Right.
They somehow got FDA permission to say that it's less than 1% addictive.
Right, and this was all based on a letter to the New England Journal of Medicine. If you haven't watched it, maybe just skip this part.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
By a physician who looked at a bunch of inpatients who were taking this medication and made this conclusion, but just in a letter, like it wasn't a study. And then this was like the landmark piece of literature that they used to justify this indication and...
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, did you ever use OxyContin?
I've never, no.
No, I don't mean use it, I mean like prescribe it.
Oh yeah, so definitely, interestingly, I could have had surgery.
Okay, sorry.
So interestingly, we both went to medical school and residency kind of from the mid-90s on when it was just kind of becoming a thing.
Yeah, so we prescribed a ton of it, right?
A lot.
After every joint replacement surgery, musculoskeletal surgery, we wanted to provide long-term pain relief.
But I do recall that I never saw the reps. I don't ever remember a single rep talking to me about OxyContin. And maybe that's Canada, maybe it's because we were trainees, I'm not exactly sure. But even in practice, I never had that.
Yeah.
But I remember giving like 4 or 5 days of OxyContin and then a longer prescription for the shorter acting stuff. So you just kind of got them through that acute phase with the OxyContin, and then we usually stopped relatively quickly.
Yes. So it had
a role.
It was not well portrayed in the miniseries, but it did have a role in severe pain, post-operative pain.
And it was very good at it.
Yeah. Okay. It did have a role in that.
Yes.
And that wasn't well portrayed in the series. The series was concerned with the use of OxyContin for moderate pain.
Right, and even they joked about headaches and toothaches and stuff like that. And obviously, no narcotic ideally should be used for that. That's what acetaminophen and ibuprofen and those kind of medications are for.
That's right. We don't use narcotics for those types of pain, but we do use them for severe pain, trauma, and post-operative. So, what are some of the things you liked about this show, and why you thought it's important for people to watch it?
Well, I learned a lot about I knew about the lobbying power of pharmaceutical companies, but I learned more about the interaction of pharmaceutical companies with the FDA.
Okay.
And how
alarming.
And how you could work for the FDA and then you could go work for the company that you just approved. Something that was maybe not totally common, and I thought that was confusing to me.
Yeah. So these decisions, approval decisions, synthesis of data, that's all done by people. People are not flawless.
No.
People are, at risk of becoming corrupt, at risk of becoming greedy.
Or of making a mistake, but I think it was more intentional.
Poor choices. It happens. I ran a yellow light today.
Right.
Okay, so people do make
mistakes. I did this morning.
People do make mistakes, right?
Yes.
So these people in places of power have made some mistakes to let this drug get that certification from the FDA. And let the corruption sort of went very high. That's one really cool thing I thought to see in this show.
The other thing, I was shocked at how common the problem was and how it was in the media and how so many people just ignored it and brushed it under the carpet or chose to ignore it or whatever. I was shocked. And I didn't know, I don't think, the degree, particularly in Appalachia, where they targeted very intentionally that group of people because hardworking, lots of pain, blah, blah, blah. How those people were really victimized by this.
Okay, so the victimization, how bad this was for people. I mean, when we were going through this, we were physicians while this got taken off the market. I thought it was just because of the abuse, because that pill could be crushed so that you could get a really high dose of OxyContin in one go. That's all I thought it was. Then they came out, I remember, with Oxy Neo after, which was supposed to be not as easily crushed and abused.
That's right.
But it turns out, according to this series, that the problems ran much deeper than just abuse potential. So I thought that was very interesting. I thought it was very interesting how they displayed that this prescription opioid addiction leads into illicit drug addiction like heroin. The gateway to that. I thought that was very cool. I thought it was very interesting the way they showed the interaction between pharma and the physician via the drug rep. Now, we never had any drug reps come and talk to us about OxyContin, but we had a ton of reps talk to us about implants, procedures, and different medications. And that is, I thought they displayed that quite accurately.
And I think the other thing for me too is that it showed how at first it worked so well. Like even a well-meaning doctor was so excited for his patients that had severe pain. Like this was like the game changer, such a common word nowadays. But it really was a game changer. That it showed that guy with the shoulder pain, and he's like, "Wow, doc, I'm fishing now." And he's like, this doctor just wanted to help his patients, and trusting the fact that the rep said, "Hey, this is not going to be addictive." And then all of a sudden, it went from 10, and then you had to take 20, and then you had to take 40. And then the way that the pharmaceutical company says, "Listen, start pushing the bigger doses." And then they renamed nomenclature. They said, "Make pain the fifth vital sign," and they talk about breakthrough pain. They literally coined terms that were commonplace in medicine in order to sell their medication.
We were taught those terms. We were shown those pain scales. And I had no idea that was driven by a pharmaceutical company. And that's stuff we were taught back then. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I tell all my patients that are using narcotics for like their arthritic knee, I say it's not going to work. If it was working, you wouldn't be here talking to me about getting that knee replaced, right? One of our jobs is to help people get out of pain.
100%.
We do it most of the time surgically. We try and do it with education and multimodal approach, but surgery is something we use often to help people get out of pain. We do prescribe narcotics after surgical procedures. And there is a lot of research looking at ways to manage postoperative pain without. There's some great research just came out of Canada. We should review that in a journal club, just down the road.
And ideally, maybe to reduce it, maybe not to eliminate it for certain procedures that might not be avoidable 100%, but to reduce it and to prescribe it more responsibly and more intentionally.
And I'm involved with research that is trying to look at different modalities of controlling pain without using narcotics. So maybe one day. But right now, we still do use narcotics in the post-operative period and in the setting of traumas. So that's
in general, I'd give it a thumbs up. It's a very interesting watch. I couldn't stop watching.
No, it's a great show. I think everybody should watch it. I mean, it's gonna make you more afraid of big pharma. That's
it is,
for
100%.
Sure. And our viewers are ready. If you gauge some of the comments we get, do not trust big pharma. And this is definitely showing it in a negative view. But remember, it's Hollywoodized. It's showing one perspective.
But they certainly are responsible for some of the things that happen. Sure.
And we're not getting Purdue's perspective, And a lot of the reps weren't aware of what was going on. They just believed the data themselves.
They believe their boss.
It's a real great show. Give it a check.
So if you like it, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and send this on to someone that you think is going to be interested in Dopesick.
Right. And if you have a show or a medical show that you think needs to be commented on, put it in the comments. Maybe we'll watch it and give our opinion.
Okay. See you next time.
Remember, you are in charge of your own health and what you watch on TV.